Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Anish Gupta.
I'm Jack Smith.
I'm Shrikar Gendran.
So we're back at it again with weekly picks, and this time we're doing Week 6, and there are a lot of interesting matchups. I've got them right up here via playoff predictors. But you guys want to get started right away, Jack?
Let's get right into it.
Give a game and give us a pick, yeah.
Yeah, so starting off, we've got Houston at Tennessee, 10 a.m. There's no Thursday night football this week, so that's why you're getting this episode a little bit later. So this is the first Sunday game. You know, Houston, they haven't looked good, but now they've got a new coach, so we'll see what's going to happen there. And Tennessee really put the hurt on Buffalo, but they're on a short week. So how do you think this game is going to go? Personally, for me, I'm not picking against Tennessee right now, and Houston, it's going to take them time to get acclimated with their new coach. So Tennessee, they beat Buffalo, who I think is a Super Bowl contender. Houston's not that, so I think Tennessee's going to win this one too.
Yeah, I expect more of the same from the Titans in this one, building off that game against the Bills. I think it really comes down to the defense making life miserable for Deshaun Watson all game long, because that's just really going to allow Ryan Tannehill enough breathing room to get the win. I won't say it's a blowout. I think the Texans do keep it close, but I'm going to say the Titans win this one.
So, again, when I looked at my tiers in the AFC, I know Jack had the Bills a step ahead, but again, I kept them in the same tier, the Bills and the Titans. So when I saw this game, I picked the Bills too, I had that weird Marlins thing. Remember when I was telling you guys about it? Just, You know, how they bounced back from COVID. I didn't expect this, though. And you know what? I want people to finally give the respect to Ryan Tannehill. I mean, you two know how much I love him. I've always, I've argued a lot of quarterbacks over a lot of them. When I put Tannehill in, I put him at 11, and a lot of people disagree with me. But, I mean, right now he's playing like a top 5 to 7 quarterback in this league right now. I'm glad that he's doing well. People say it's because he left Gase, but I mean, could be one thing. I mean, maybe, but again, I also thought he was good in Miami, even though people thought he was the definition of average. But he's looked good with a better system and a better coach and a better overall team. So for that, I'm going to pick Tennessee. I just think right now, Ryan Tannehill is playing better than Deshaun Watson. And where's all that hate now? Where, you know, everyone was mad at me for saying this guy could be the best quarterback in the AFC South. How's that take looking? But, I want to say a little bit of, boast myself up a little bit with that take, and I'm going to go Tennessee over Houston.
Yeah, I just feel like it's going to be rough for Tennessee for a couple – or not Tennessee, rough for Houston for a couple of games. And, look, Tennessee –
Purnell looked good, though. I'll say that.
He did. But Tennessee looks like an elite defense, and – look, if you're a Houston DB, you better watch out if you're coming at downhill Derrick Henry. You might get thrown to the sideline like Josh Norman.
And A.J. Brown, people forget, he just came back. I think this is the first game that he's played fully since week 1. Yeah, or actually the entire year, and he looked really good.
Tennessee's just a fundamentally sound team, and I expect them to win this game. Our next game is going to be Cincinnati at Indianapolis. Shrikar, why don't you start us off on that one?
Yeah. So despite the loss last week, I'm still confident in the Colts as one of the top teams in the AFC. There's still a lot of football left to be played before we can start worrying about the playoffs. But look, I believe the Colts will be there when that time comes. When it comes to the Bengals, I'd expect more of the same in Week 6. The Colts have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL, which really won't make things any easier for Burrow. If Joe Burrow can avoid a complete disaster of a performance, I don't think he's got enough going right now to just keep the points coming against this Colts defense. So I'm going to take the Colts in this one.
Yeah, for this game, 1, Indy's at home. 2, I just think Phillip Rivers will bounce back a little bit, especially with a favorable secondary and a favorable defense. And again, the Bengals can't win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And they're losing guys like Sam Hubbard is out on IR. I think Atkins is still banged up, not 100%. AJ Green, I don't know what's going on with him. There were rumors that he said trade me on the bench. It wasn't. He confirmed that wasn't true, but he did express his frustrations with the team. But yeah, this offensive line has been playing terrible. We thought Jonah Williams could step in and help this unit out. It just hasn't looked good. It hasn't gelled together. As a result, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to bounce back. But hey, it was a pretty good game, at least for me watching that last week. So I mean, at least seeing it in real time, I think the Colts will bounce back. Just a couple plays away from maybe winning that game.
Jonah Williams is a name really I haven't heard all year. We talked about him a lot this offseason, saying he was basically the Bengals' second first-round pick because he was coming back from injury. I have not heard his name mentioned once. Obviously, the Bengals' O-line's been terrible, but I haven't heard anyone say anything about him. But look, I think Indianapolis is going to win this one. Aside from one game, they've looked like the best defense in the league, and we've seen that Cleveland's been able to figure it out on offense. Stefanski seems like the guy, so I'm not going to hold that game against the Colts too much. I'm going to have them beating Cincinnati. They get their revenge against the AFC North. And our next game, Atlanta at Minnesota. We talked about a new coach. Atlanta's got a new coach as well, and they're playing Minnesota. Both teams have been disappointing this year, but, Atlanta's been Atlanta. So, Anish, why don't you start us off on this one? Who do you have winning?
Oh, dude. Atlanta's cost me so many games. I mean, when is, I think they're giving up on themselves, okay? In Minnesota, I think they're going to be hungry, very hungry after that last loss on primetime. And I saw a metric. I think everyone pretty much saw this too, right? There were 11 million viewers of that game compared to only 6 for the NBA Finals. So people saw what happened. And you know what? I have a friend, Devin, who's a huge Vikings fan. And you know what? I told him too. We were discussing it at the call. Kick the field goal and I said this literally verbatim. If you give this team any type of momentum, I don't care which side of the ball it is, they're going to use it against you. And that's exactly what happened. Sure.
It doesn't matter where you are on the field.
Yeah.
At the 6-yard line.
I get it. If you get the first down, the game is over. But just the sliver of a chance that you're giving to Russell Wilson, again, a guy who's, as much as I love my homeboy, Russell Wilson has been playing like the best quarterback so far. And, I mean, does that mean he's number one overall? I don't think so. But, again, he's been playing like it over these last 4 or 5 weeks. And you give him a chance. And on 4th down and 10, that was one of the best deep balls I've ever seen in that type of weather. I mean, that was absolutely perfect. I don't know how you do that in that type of rain. I mean, that type of circumstance. I just don't understand how he's able to make those plays. And you know what? I think they're going to be hungry at home. They owned Atlanta last year, and a lot of people had Atlanta winning that game last year. So I'm going to give the Vikings the dub here.
And as frustrating as the Vikings have been this season, it's too hard to have any faith in the Falcons right now. Because even with Dan Quinn, getting fired, there are just too many flaws on this roster to, warrant any confidence for me heading into week 6. So I'm giving this one to the Vikings. They've shown that ability to get going on offense, and the defense really just isn't as bad as Atlanta's. It's going to be an ugly game on both sides, but I think Minnesota's going to come away victorious here. They do have a slim chance at the playoffs, so they're going to keep that alive right here.
The Falcons have screwed us over in so many weeks.
Jack and I.
Oh my, yeah. And we see it at the beginning. We're like, oh, finally the Falcons are going to come through. They're getting the win. Then we're like, wait, it's the Falcons. Can't do that. And then they end up losing. So it's, I mean, I'm not picking against them this week. And knowing that they'll probably end up winning because that's tend to be how it works. I'm going with Minnesota. If you're anyone right now, how can you pick Atlanta after what you've seen through 5 weeks?
Also, who the hell is going to stop Adam Thielen? He's playing
no one.
No, I mean, look at his underrated, but he's been playing like one of the best wide receivers. Remember, I told you guys he could make an All-Pro team. Watch out for that. I really think it's possible.
Well, and if you slow him down, then you have Justin Jefferson on the other side. It is worth noting, though, Dalvin Cook is out, but Alexander Mattison, I believe, is one of the best, if not the best, backup running back in the league. He'd be starting a lot of other places. I guess, yeah. But right now, I feel like right there, that's 2 starters. I feel like Chubb and Hunt are both starters. I wouldn't call Hunt a backup to Chubb. But I've got Minnesota winning this one. And this is a game, the next one, that it got moved from last week. Denver at New England. A game I believe we didn't predict because we thought it would be moved. So
I don't think we got around to it.
But now we're going to pick it now. Streetcar, what do you have for this one?
I'll just say right now, this is going to be quite the interesting matchup because the Patriots have had a quiet last 2 weeks while they work through their way through that COVID-19 breakout. And really with the Broncos, it just comes down to injuries. But look, if the Broncos get Drew Lock back, I don't know, maybe they can pull off the upset. But in the end, though, I believe the Patriots get the win here. They've been the more complete squad this season, and they just haven't been as injured as the Broncos. So if Newton is under center, I think New England gets this win easily. But if he's not, I'm not so sure.
So first off, I believe Newton's going to play. Second, you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for a younger quarterback with that secondary, with a team that basically could have beaten the Chiefs. There were plenty of opportunities in non-Patriot fashion that they didn't take advantage of. So, Drew Lock comes back after I don't even remember the exact specifics of his injury. I think it was lower. Shoulder? I think it was leg, shoulder or leg. I can't remember.
I thought it was shoulder.
Yeah, I think it's shoulder. But again, coming back to throw against that secondary, especially coming off an injured shoulder, as Jack just described. Doesn't bode well for you, especially at Gillette. I'm going to go with the Patriots here.
Yeah, I mean, no one should have to be reminded of what the Patriots defense does to young quarterbacks. I mean, especially ones that are coming off not playing in a while. Remember what happened last week, last year, I believe it was a Thursday night game. There was a quarterback who came off mono a week before to beat the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Ran into a brick wall, which was the New England defense. I said this.
What was he seeing, that guy? I heard there was like someone helping the Pats defense out.
I don't remember.
Ghosts.
I don't remember.
In an interview, he legit said, "I saw ghosts."
He said on the sideline. He was not expected to be mic'd up. But, needless to say, New England feasts on young quarterbacks. And if it's Drew Lock or Brett Rippon, it doesn't matter. They're going to win this game because they tear apart young quarterbacks, especially if you give them 2 weeks to prepare and quarterback coming off of an injury. So I think New England's a shoe-in pick for this game. And I know, Shrikar, you were really nervous for this pick. A battle of the worst teams in the NFC East, which is a big thing to say since that whole division's terrible. Washington football team at the New York Giants. Both teams have not looked good. One team, though, at least has one win. Shrikar, who are you sticking with in this game?
I'll be honest, I haven't even made my pick yet. But look, it's been a long season for both of these NFC East teams, and it's probably not going to get much better anytime soon. But luckily for one of them, they're going to come away with the win here in Week 6, and really just both squads are.
Oh, now they're going to tie.
Dude, watch that happen, man. It's like, and both squads are just looking for some sort of sliver of hope, just some reason to look forward to these last 10 games. So, honestly, this is just such a hard decision to make because both teams have been awful at times this season, and both teams have been injured. And
who are you going to go with, though?
I know. And while the Washington
he's trying to stall because he hasn't decided yet.
I'm still thinking. Let me think this through.
I got my pick on this one.
Let me think this through. Okay, I'll take the Giants. It's just the Giants seem to have I don't know what it is, man. I just feel like the Giants are going to win this one. I still have faith in Daniel Jones. Screw it. We're taking the Giants.
Jack?
Damn, you're really making me go second. I have a feeling Anisha's going to pick New York because for some reason he still believes in Daniel Jones despite all of the turnovers and the limited wins. Isn't it crazy that this Washington team, how bad they are, they still beat Wentz? I want to point that out.
Dude, oh my God, bro.
Look, New York has had.
Oh my God, he comes. We'll talk about the Eagles later, bro. I just can't, bro.
New York
even
has
when
had,
the Browns are doing well, I still find ways to be disappointed in football.
Right.
Even when the Browns are doing
That's
well.
how football works.
Doing well, the Browns are doing well.
That's how football works, always disappointing you. But look, New York has had one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and Washington's got a potent rushing the passer attack. Daniel Jones has been horrendous, and New York doesn't win a game. I'm not going to pick them till they do, and I think that Washington beats up on Daniel Jones a little bit. Obviously, he's going to turn the ball over. It's what he does, and Washington's going to win this one.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. I'm picking New York. Here's the thing. I'm finally picking a home team in MetLife Stadium because no team in MetLife Stadium has won since the XFL team in February.
Jesus.
But I think the Giants win it here, and here's why. I thought they played rather well against the Cowboys, and albeit, their defense is Washington's defense is definitely better. I just, again, as much as Alex Smith, it's very impressive. This Giants secondary is very underrated. Are Washington receivers? Can Alex Smith throw the ball down the field, right? And especially against guys like James Bradbury's playing like a top 10 corner right now. You can look at the advanced stats. I'm not going to name all of them, but especially completion percentage, he's been pretty good at it. So James Bradbury's been playing well. I'm going to take the Giants here just because I don't think Alex Smith can get the football down the field enough. It'll come down to the running game for Washington, which is definitely possible. But I think the Giants get their first win here.
I sure hope not. I could have played it safe. I knew both of you guys were going to go with New York, but I didn't want to. That's not who I am. And our next game.
Also, you hate Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I also very much hate Daniel Jones. You're right. Can you pick the upset, Anish, in back-to-back games? We've got Baltimore at Philadelphia. Do you have it in you?
Can you at least save the games?
No. Do you have it in you to take Wentz over Lamar?
I came into the year saying that Philly was going to upset San Francisco and Baltimore. They upset San Francisco. Oh, man, at home, dude. I am torn. Because this Ravens team, right, they looked really good against the Bengals. And they basically outplayed them in every facet. I feel like they're overlooking this game. I really could see an upset here. And you know what? How many games am I up on you three or on you two? I'm up 3 games.
You're
Here we
3 on
go.
me and 6 on Streetcar.
Oh, on 6 on Streetcar.
Walk it to him once.
I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to walk it to him once. And if he doesn't win this, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be pissed, and I'm going to lose a lot of faith in him. But you know
haven't
what?
Already? Wow.
I have, but you know what? When he came out of college, I regretted trading that pick so much. And you know what? I'm going to bet on him here. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take Philly at home. Just have a field day. Go ahead.
Hey, whenever when was the
This is nowhere near the Eagles one, or I mean the Bengals Ravens one. This is nowhere near the Jets Colts one. I want to make that clear.
I just want to know, when was the last time that someone thought the Ravens were overlooking a team and they chose the Bengals?
No. This isn't it. I didn't. No. I didn't say the magic words though. I never said trap game. I never said this was a trap game, short week. None of that. I just think I'm going to hold out faith in this team. I came into the year saying that this team would beat the Niners and the Ravens. They got 1 out of the 2.
Well, yeah, the Niners with Nick Mullins and C.J. Beathard at quarterback.
Hey, you know what? Let's see. I mean, Lamar Jackson, wasn't he questionable a little bit?
He's not anymore.
Not anymore, but let's see it. Come on now. I really come on. Darius Slay, lock up Marquise Brown. I
believe Darius Slay got hurt last week.
Yeah, I know, ankle banged up, but I trust him. I'm trusting this. I'm trusting walk it to him. Game-winning drive, baby. Travis Fulgham. I'm gonna need you, bro.
I'm gonna take Baltimore. I'm just looking for the Ravens to hit the Eagles with a balanced combination of running and passing. Just allow the ground game to get going, and then Jackson will do his damage through the air later. I think Wentz and the Philly offense will attempt to counter, but really, I just don't see them getting much movement.
You know what? I'm regretting
Baltimore
the pick
defense
already.
is just too stingy, man. I just don't know what to say. It's already been a long year for the Eagles. They really haven't caught many breaks since the season got underway, and I don't think that's going to change in Week 6. It's just too tough of a showdown against the Ravens. I think it's going to be too difficult a challenge to overcome. So I'm going to take Baltimore here.
Yeah, I really need every chance I can. Every game matters to try and get a leg up on Anish and try and get back to the top spot.
Yeah.
And normally they do not come this easy. Normally we have literally the exact same picks every week. No matter what upsets I go with, he somehow has them
just
too.
Go. I know.
And I don't even have to pick an upset on this one. So look, Baltimore's going to win. And I'm going to clown you if they lose or if they win.
No. I don't want.
No. Just for Wentz. I'm allowed to do that.
Sure.
Okay.
How much do you think they win by? Do you think it's close?
I think it's close. I think
it's 10 or less.
I'll say Ravens win by
10 or less. Really?
I'll say Ravens win by 9.
If I wasn't biased, I really would have picked this team by 15 at least.
I can see it.
I think Ravens win by 9.
I mean, I don't know. Eagles looked good against Pittsburgh. I just think they lack coaching. First of all, their defensive coordinator needs to go.
Moving the ball.
Yeah,
on the defense.
I mean, I don't even know. It's picking the upset. If they somehow win, I'm going to be live on Monday or whenever we do our recap because I'm going to be hella happy. Let's go on.
Let's hope they don't. And then I won't make you pick first on this one, Anish. I'll go first on this one. I got to be fair to you guys. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, is the toughest game to predict this week. We've got 4-0, but against not very good teams at home, at least against Cleveland. It's Cleveland, but they've been good, which is weird to say. If Chubb was playing, I would go with Cleveland.
Really? Okay, but he's not.
But he's not, and I'm going with Pittsburgh. And look, I've said it multiple weeks now. It's hard to pick Cleveland to be good, even though I did before the season. I think this is one of the games they drop. I believe they'll beat Pittsburgh when they're at home, but they're not going to go into Pittsburgh and beat them. So I've got the Steelers in this one.
All right. I'll let Anish go last.
Oh, dude. Why do I have to have 3 games of players I like or teams I like? Why?
Look, all year long, I've been picking against the Browns and for the Steelers. But I'm going to go against that today. They're obviously two very talented teams. But I'm starting to get the sense that one is more prepared than the other to take this league by storm. And yes, I am talking about the Cleveland Browns.
Yo!
For the last couple of years, we've been waiting for them to get it together. There was already enough talent on both sides of the ball. And now they've got a competent head coach in Kevin Stefanski, who's really just bringing out the best of this bunch, especially in Baker. I was still on the fence heading into week 5, but they sent the Colts home with a loss. And I'm starting to believe, Anish, I am believing in the Browns now. I don't care if you think I'm jinxing it. I am believing in the Browns.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, the Steelers, as Jack said, they're still a bit of an unknown. They've looked great on their way to an undefeated start. But with that said, they've beat 4 teams with a combined record, 3-15-1?
3-15-1.
So they've really yet to face quality competition, which is exactly what the Browns are proving themselves to be. So as great as the Steelers' defense has been this season, I'm not sure they're ready to slow down Cleveland's receiving threats, that ground game. So I think the Browns win this rivalry, and they are going to, I'll stick with it. I think the Browns are going to knock the Steelers from the ranks of the undefeated.
So
do it. Take them.
So
side with
it all starts with the Dallas game. I picked against them, and then I chose them in my weekly pick 'em. Against the Colts, you guys both took the Colts. I took Cleveland, and they won. And I've watched all these games. Every single Browns game, I have watched all 60 minutes, all in real time. I have seen all of it.
Didn't you turn off the Ravens game?
You turn off the Ravens?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
But who wouldn't?
But one, because I turned it off 4 minutes to right. And one of them was 56 minutes. Okay, fine. Yes, I did turn it off. But this team, there's something different. Really, there is something different. I've never seen this type of team come together. And you know what? I feel like the Steelers are going to come in a little bit too high. They're going to think of themselves a little bit too high. There's no terrible towel. There's no terrible towel over there. There aren't going to be fans. And you know what, Jack? You could take a 2-game leap over me here. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. I say we win.
I could take a 3-game. I can tie you this week. I've got Washington too.
Washington,
Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what?
The Browns.
I don't care.
Look, go Washington, go Baltimore, and go Pittsburgh.
I'm rooting for the Browns this weekend.
Cleveland is going to win, and you know what? I can't wait for it because Pittsburgh is going to move down in power rankings, and people are finally going to start thinking, "Oh, wait, okay." I think this is the game.
It's so weird.
I think we'll drop something that we should have won, but I think this game. Yeah. I think we win the first one. Honestly, I think we could lose the second one, but I think we win this one.
It's so weird because I predicted that Cleveland would do well, and now that they're doing well, I don't like it.
You've picked against them 2 straight weeks now?
Yeah, I picked, and I just don't like seeing them do well, even though I thought it would happen.
The Browns all year.
I picked against the Browns like all year. Sure. I predicted them to do well before the season. Something in me I can't let myself pick them during the week because I just don't like them. So look, we're moving on to our next game. We're going to have Chicago at Carolina. Anish, how about you start us off on that one?
All right. So why do I always have the tough one? Like I always have to go on the tough one. But you know what?
Well, you're in first.
Yeah, I know. And I'm probably not going to be after today. So I think Carolina's again, they're also looking ahead. And I think Chicago, you give them an extra 4 days with Matt Nagy. Look, this Bears team has really it's really impressed me. Talked about it with Chris a lot. And, you know, as someone who was high on him, but I thought Trubisky would be leading the way for them by now. And I'm very shocked to see that Foles was making the plays to win the game. Simple as that. That throw to Montgomery was absolutely perfect. I don't know if you guys caught it or caught the play, but it was really good. And you know what? Even if Tom Brady knew it was 4th down, I still don't think he wins that game. They played tremendous down the stretch. Khalil Mack was here. He came alive. And I think with the extra 4 days, I just think they're going to be ready for the Carolina Panthers, who, again, are without CMC. And Mike Davis has been amazing, but I still give CMC that edge as a game changer because I just haven't seen Mike Davis make these long plays. And who knows, maybe I just jinxed him. Maybe he goes for a 74-yard touchdown. But I think the Panthers, after winning 3 straight, I think they're going to take a loss here to Chicago. I actually, in my pick'em from, prior to the season, I actually had the Panthers upsetting here. But now after going, 3 in a they've won 3 in a row, I believe.
Yeah.
I think Chicago's going to come in there and beat them. So I got Chicago here.
Chicago. I'll go. Let Chicago go last.
Sure. Yeah.
I've got Chicago again. No, I've got Chicago too. I was never a believer in Carolina, and while they've been proving me wrong a little bit, I was higher on Chicago going into the year. They only have one loss, and that's to a dominant Colts defense. So I've got Chicago. This is a tough game to pick, and really, I'm not going to watch this one. And it doesn't.
I think it could be interesting though. And you know what? As I told you guys, this Panthers team, they were going to win some games.
Yeah, but look, with the defense that young, winning 4 in a row seems tough, and eventually they'll crumble in a game like you saw week 1 against the Raiders. Maybe that happens this week. I've got Chicago winning this one. Hopefully Khalil Mack can come alive again. I want to see that.
Okay. The Bears will probably make me regret this pick, as they've done pretty much all
again.
Season.
Wow.
However, I still feel like the Bears are slightly overrated right now, and I think the Panthers are quietly proving themselves to be a team worth taking seriously.
Shrieker, I'm just going to let you know, you have pissed off every Bears fan that I know.
Wait, no. Did you take them or Tampa Bay?
Oh, you took Tampa.
Have you picked against the Bears in every single week?
He's picked against the Bears in every week except. Oh my God.
He's picked against the Bears every week.
Wow. Yeah.
No. Wait, I picked.
Yeah, I think you have. Yep. Or no, Colts.
No, I was on them that had the Colts.
Wow. So we're gonna keep that streak going.
Wait, so you've picked every? No way.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I just don't pick the Bears, man. That's just in my DNA.
Maybe that's why they're 4-1.
You know what? Maybe that's gonna give them a win. All right, hey.
Look, I think it should be a pretty low-scoring game, very gritty game. It's really going to come down to who has the ball last. So ultimately, I'm predicting the Panthers get the win, bring the Bears down a notch.
Bears fans got to be happy with that one.
Robbie Anderson's going to have. I think he's their X factor, just because I think if I'm Kyle Fuller, I would shadow DJ Moore just because I think he's their big play guy. As much as Robbie Anderson, would show that in New York, I just think he's been more of, like a rack up reception guy, which is really different. And you know what? I've eaten my words on Robbie Anderson. I used to think he was not consistent. I mean, let's see how he continues, but he's looked really good so far.
Yet another terrible Jets decision to let him walk. But if I'm a Bears fan, I'm happy Shriegar picked against him again. He's picked against him 5 times. They've only
Chris
lost
and Sam,
once,
you guys should be out.
I'll look. I'll see if I picked them in any game.
I'm not sure you have.
I'm sure you have, but let's move on, I think, in the meantime. Which game are we doing?
We're doing Detroit and Jacksonville, a battle of 2 bad teams. There's a couple of those this week. And so there's some games we don't know what to expect. Look, Jacksonville has been up and down all year, but I'm going to go with them here. It's just Detroit has 1 win, which is a shocking upset against Arizona, and they haven't impressed me really at all year. I think they got that win against a depleted Arizona team that just was lacking something in that week. So I wouldn't say they won that game. I'd say more Arizona lost it. And so it's just hard for me to pick them to win a game. So I've got Jacksonville winning this one.
Okay. So
my God. Okay.
Well,
Shriegar, go.
I did pick the Bears to beat the Colts, so I haven't picked them against them every week. But besides the point, through 5 weeks, neither of these teams have been any bit impressive. Both have obviously struggled to win games. Both defenses are pretty inconsistent. Too many turnovers. Look, someone's got to win this one. So I'll say the Lions win this one. What's really going to help the Lions is the fact that their defense is not nearly as battered at this point in the season as the Jaguars is. So I think the Lions get a couple of turnovers early in the game, and then at that point, you give the ball to Peterson, wear down the clock, and get the dub. So I'm going to take Detroit.
Jack, you could take the lead this week.
I could.
I'm taking the Lions, and here's why. Off a bye, they looked impressive. They did against Arizona. I really think they made, again, I don't think Kenny Golladay, I think, played, but now you give this team an extra week of rest and 2 weeks to prepare for a Jacksonville team that just hasn't, again, they're dysfunctional. That's all I got to say. I mean, on 4th down, you run a play with your running back who is trying to throw and he just loses the ball. That just sums up Jacksonville. I couldn't have summed it up better than that one play on 4th down.
Honestly, if you put that out and I didn't know what team, I'd also think Detroit. So, I mean, they're both as dysfunctional.
That's true. And also, I would say this, too, to help your case. Jacksonville were 2 field goals away from honestly beating the Texans. So, I just think the Lions come out a bit stronger here. And I think Matt Stafford's got a little bit to prove. I've always been, a Stafford critic. And that win against the Cardinals was definitely something to behold. So I think they pull it off here. And Jack, if everything goes your way, man, you take a 1-game lead on me.
I'll take it. What I'm not taking is the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins.
Darn it! No.
What? I'm not stupid. They're 0-5.
You said they were going to sweep Miami coming into the year.
I said they were going to split. I said they'd split with each team in the division.
Oh, split with each, right?
But look, Flacco's not going to beat Miami. I will not pick the Jets most likely for a while, let alone with Flacco starting. So the Dolphins are going to win this game.
It pains me why I even have to explain why I'm picking the Dolphins over the Jets. This is just a terrible matchup. Like, I think it's obvious at this point that the Jets are just incapable of winning at this moment in time.
It looks like they don't even want to win.
They have been a complete train wreck through these first 5 weeks. They're coming off a beating at the hands of the Cardinals. And they lost to a Broncos team that was led by a third-string quarterback who couldn't protect the football to save his life. So they sit here at 0-5. And really, it's just not a mistake that they're winless heading into week 6. They're just pathetic. So I think the Dolphins will win this one without much effort. This is going to be one more reason for the Jets front office to fire Adam Gase. I know
as if they don't already have enough.
But here's the thing. This will also put Miami at 500, meaning, they may actually be relevant in the playoff discussion. They're in the AFC. So,
Anish, I don't want to hear it. They haven't played anybody.
Nope.
This is a weird year, man, but hey, I'm going to take the Dolphins in the blowout, man.
Blowout? Whoa, really?
Yeah, I think
every team has blown out the Jets this year, basically.
I know, but, so, Jack, is there no chance Darnold plays? I actually haven't.
No, he's out. They've already decided he's out.
I wish he would have played. But, so a guy sat up here and said that Miami could be a sleeper team. I think that was the most impressive team of the week just in week 5. Would you be mad at me if I said that?
They beat the most depleted team in the league.
But they looked really good on both sides of the ball.
They did. But also San Francisco looked that bad.
At circumstance, but actually, no, Tennessee. Sorry. I'll give you Tennessee for sure. But aside from them, they put up 37. Then their defense looked really good. And this is a very young defense that, again, secondary has been balling. And those pickups, Jack, I told you, it's not even about how good the players are. It's the fact that you're comparing it to last year when they were just so talentless. And obviously, if you're going to bring in new guys, it's going to uplift the entire team. And I think at home they're going to beat this Jets team. It puts them at 500. Now I had them 7-9, so I think they can really get there. Maybe even if a couple missed kicks or a couple field goals go their way, it could be sitting at 8-8, 9-7. Who knows? Maybe. I'm not going to go that far though. I don't even think they hit 7-9. Who knows? But I'm going to pick the Dolphins over the New York Jets here.
Yeah, one thing's for certain that they might make the playoffs. One thing's for certain they're going to beat the Jets. Probably both.
He's
times.
Trying to jinx them, isn't he?
No, I don't. Dude, I don't get it. It's like they don't want to win. It's like you're 0-5, and what do you do to try and win? Oh, you cut your best offensive weapon. As if you didn't
want a chance for the Pro Bowl.
As if you had.
Actually, no, Crowder.
As if you had no weapons anyway.
Didn't want to be there though, so it's
It's funny how Gase has outlasted Robbie Anderson, Jamal Adams, and Le'Veon Bell.
Right?
Yeah. It makes no sense to me. But look, our next game. This is one of the biggest games of the week. We've got Green Bay at Tampa Bay, and look, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have been playing out of their mind, but they have a week to maybe cool down a little bit if that's what you see as a bye week. And Tampa Bay might be hungry after Chicago loss. Shrikar,
10 days to prepare as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll say this: the Buccaneers have certainly been impressive on both sides of the ball this season. And I know that offense really just hasn't been as explosive as people imagined. I'd still say they're still looking like one of the better clubs in the NFC through these first 5 weeks. But what I believe the difference in this game will be, though, is the Packers' defense. Because their secondary has quietly been one of the better units in this league. And their pass rush, I think the pass rush is more than capable of changing a game on its own. So I'm really looking for Green Bay to get after Brady, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, maybe get a turnover in the final minutes. We'll see how it goes. I think Brady plays well, but
do you think he forgets the down again, or?
Hey man, we'll see. But
that's not something I would attribute to Tom Brady. I did not think that's something he would do, if anyone.
No way.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You guys know how I feel about Tom Brady. I think he's the best football player ever. So not something you would expect, but is it okay if I transition over to my pick at least? I think with Green Bay, there's 2 things I'm going to mention. One is their yards per play. 7. It's almost 7 yards per play. I think that's very That's something that shouldn't be taken lightly, and especially with a team like Bruce Arians, who they play very induced football. Like, I think they'll give up these deep plays. They'll be very stingy, but also you can get a deep play on them. And another guy is Devontae Adams. This is a key matchup. I think Devontae Adams versus either Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean, whoever they put on him. He's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to wait, 2 extra weeks to get back on the field. I mean, he expressed his frustrations out on Twitter when he couldn't play on Monday. Obviously, the team won, but you could tell he wanted to be out there. He's going to, if you have him in your lineups, just know he's going to, do everything he can to get those yards, get those touchdowns, help his team win. And that's why I'm going to pick Green Bay here. I think Aaron Rodgers goes 2-1 against Tom Brady in his career.
Yeah, I think that Green Bay wins too. They've looked like consistently the best team in the league so far this year. They haven't had a hiccup. They've looked like the best team in the league. And while Tampa Bay, I think, can challenge them, Green Bay's looked like this without Devontae Adams. Now they have him. I think they win this game and continue. They're on a roll, which is not something I expected. And so I'll admit it, I was wrong on Green Bay. They've looked very good. And another team I was wrong on, as well as really all of us, was the Los Angeles Rams. We did not think they'd be very good. We thought they were on a downward spiral, and they've bounced back. And they're starting to look more like the Rams from a couple of years ago. And they played the Niners, who we all thought this game would be a little easier to pick towards the Niners side earlier in the year. Not looking that way right now. I'll go first on this one. I think Los Angeles wins this game. I don't like the Niners. It's very obvious to people who watch the show. And I'm happy when Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play well because I don't like him either. And so I don't think they're going to play well. Whether it's even him that plays throughout the entire game, it's too hard to tell anymore after the Dolphins game. I've got Los Angeles winning this one, but I would not be surprised to see San Francisco bounce back.
I'll go last.
Sure. I just want to say in the grand scheme of things, I want people to just consider that Los Angeles has 4 wins. All 4 of them are the NFC least. I just want people to consider that.
Yeah.
So when you put them in power rankings and stuff, just keep that in mind. That's all I want to say. This team has looked very impressive. They could have, they were a call away from being 5-0, correct? So,
yep.
You can say that, but that being said, I just think they're going to feast on San Francisco. San Francisco's interior O-line has been pretty weak. And again, Aaron Donald is the best defensive player. You know what? And people, I've had friends think I hate him. I don't hate on him. He is the best defensive player in the league. And in my opinion, right now, it's not close. Okay. I've said this a lot, but when people say he's the best overall player in the NFL, completely disagree. I'm sorry. And when people say they would take him over prime J.J. Watt and prime Von Miller, I also disagree. And I can really get into maybe a 2-hour debate on you with that, but I don't want to say that in the episode. So I'll pick the Rams here. Again, Aaron Donald, I think he's going to go off. But keep in mind, at San Francisco, he really hasn't been a factor just throughout his career. He even got ejected one time. I don't know if you remember that, but it's the one where he throws his helmet on the yeah. So hasn't played well at San Francisco. I think this is the game where he goes pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just coming into the season, the Niners, they were seen as one of the top contenders in the NFC, and it really made sense, but they've just looked like a shell of who they used to be. And just considering the current level of dysfunction dragging down the Niners, I'm giving this one to the Rams. I can't pick the Niners here. I know the Rams haven't been dominant this season, but they're still winning consistently. And their only loss of the year, as Anish said, it came against the Bills, who were undefeated at the time, and they nearly blew a huge lead in the process. So I'm going to take LA here.
Yeah, it's just hard to pick the Niners, which is something Strigar's done every game this year. So maybe the curse will be lifted now that Strigar's not picking them. And then,
hey, yeah, man, reverse cycle. Let's see it.
And I mentioned this in our takeaways episode. In both of his years as a starter so far, Patrick Mahomes has not lost very many games, but each year he has dropped consecutive games at least once. They lost last week, and now they play the Buffalo Bills, who are fresh off of a loss to the Tennessee Titans. Look, I went first on the last one just because I knew this one was coming next.
Strigar goes first.
Strigar, why don't you start us off on this one?
The last time I picked against Mahomes in a high-stakes game, it was pretty bad. So, my homeboy, I'm going to take...
Well, no. I don't know. No, take that back. I don't want you or Zach to ever say.
I am taking the Kansas City Chiefs here because I feel like they're primed for a bounce back. It's just and the Bills are, they're a great team. I'm not trying to knock them in any way, but oh my goodness, this is so tough. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't have like a proper like analysis for this, but I'm just feeling like the Chiefs are going to bounce back.
Jack, you got to go here. You got to go.
Yeah, look, with the standings and the picks and the fact that I could take the lead this week, I am not taking a risk right here and going with the Bills. As much as I thought about it and some signs pointed to it, look, I can't do it. I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm not picking against them again in a big game after I saw what it did to me against Baltimore. And as of right now, I am not in the spot to take a big risk.
So I have to choose between two of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, Mr. Joshua freaking Allen and
Patrick. Got
Patrick
exposed
Mahomes.
A little bit last week.
Who
against
did?
the first
Yeah,
against the first real good defense he's played.
Yep.
I mean, but can we all agree that he's not the third best quarterback in the AFC East? Okay, good. Thank you. As long as I got that through to Jack. Josh Allen is still great.
I said he was second. I had Cam Newton
No,
third.
you had Cam.
You had
third. He had Darnold first, Cam second. No, you didn't. But aside from that, here's what. My homeboy. I'm going with my homeboy and the Chiefs here. And the reason why is because I just think with this team, there's so many facets of the game that they can beat you in. I feel like the defense makes plays. Like, honestly, their defense made the plays to win that game against the Patriots. And while they had a terrible game against Las Vegas, aside from Stephon Diggs, I don't know who beats the top over that Chiefs defense. And I feel like they will scheme. They will have good disguised coverages to at least prevent some of that. And I think Tyrann Mathieu bounces back after, honestly, a horrendous game. So I think the Chiefs win here, but, I had the Chiefs 5-1 at this point, and that loss was to the Bills and previously in the when I started this the playoff predictors. Unfortunately, they took the loss to the Raiders. I'm going against my pick'em again, and every time I've gone against this thing, I swear to you, I get it wrong. Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna go against it just one last time. Watch the Bills win it. But you know what? I get a win-win either way. I mean, measly Beasley, and if Joshua freaking Allen can pull it off. But if my homeboy wins, then it's great. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here, clean sweep.
Yeah, and then our final game. First of all, it's not like the Buffalo Bills are the favorite pick in this one. So it's not like a clean sweep is terrible. It's hard to go against the Chiefs, even if they lost last week. But our final game would have been a lot more interesting had Dak Prescott been playing. Unfortunately, it's Andy Dalton, and they're playing Kyler Murray, fresh off an NFC Player of the Week, which I'm not sure if he really deserved that. He wasn't super dominant against the Jets. But he won NFC Player of the Week. They beat the Jets, and I think they beat the Cowboys here. I don't want to pick Andy Dalton right now. He could come out and have a good game, but like it's hard to pick against the NFC. It's hard to pick for the NFC East anyway, especially when a backup quarterback's coming into play. In Arizona, hopefully they ride this wave and keep playing well.
Now, I'm sorry, but I just don't see this Cowboys team being able to win against potential playoff contenders without Dak Prescott. That's the category I put the Cardinals in. Which is why I'm giving them the edge in this Monday night game. Because even if the Cowboys lean more heavily on Zeke, the Cowboys are just at a disadvantage on offense. There's no way to reason around that. So really that's just going to keep them from keeping up with the Cardinals here in the scoring department. So Dallas is going to fall to 2-4, I think.
Yeah.
They lose here. Yeah. And then really, do they hit the panic button, man? That's going to be the question.
So I think with this game, here's what I'll say. I've always been higher on Andy Dalton than most. I think he's been better than what people make it out to be in Cincinnati. And until I see him do it for a full game, I just can't pick the Cowboys right now. Obviously, they're going to have some motivation to win for Dak. They have this, win for Dak hashtag going on. But I just think the Cardinals are a very strong team here. First, DeMarcus Lawrence finally had himself a game. But again, it was against the Giants O-line. I think the Cardinals are a little bit stronger in that regard. And not to mention the fact that for the Cardinals, they've looked good. Aside from that Detroit game, they've played really well. And I think they get the dub here on the road. I think they make enough plays to win it. Cowboys haven't had that, home field advantage that, we would have thought even with fans. So I'm going to go with Kyler Murray here. Hopefully they get the win. And, yeah, clean sweep Cardinals.
Yeah, so it was an interesting week on picks.
A lot of differences.
A lot of differences. I could take the lead, and Ish could even further himself if some of those
Please,
upsets
dude.
pan out. Something we didn't.
It's that Eagles game, man.
Something we didn't mention at the beginning. If you go to our Instagram, you can vote for each of these games. As of
Also,
right now,
timestamps will be in the description.
timestamps will be in the description. Also, as of right now, for the season total, you guys are leading. So you're in first place. And if you finish in first place, like we've told you guys, we're going to give you guys a giveaway on our Instagram. So go follow us on Instagram. It'll be down in the description. And you can vote on every game of the week. And speaking of that Instagram, a couple weeks ago, we had a giveaway. We said we'd shout them out in every episode. So we're going to put up their handles right here. You guys go follow them. Tell them Cold Hard Truth sent you. But other than that, we have our website and our Twitter down in the description. So go check those out. Subscribe, turn post notifications on so you know when we put out videos. Like this video and let us know